They've arrived in the mail. If you follow us on Facebook, you know that we had some kind of farm animal coming in the mail today, and people guessed about what that animal could be, and nobody got it right, but good tries. We're gonna show you what that animal is and unveil it with the children. It's the farm animal that nobody's talking about.
Great unveiling of the newest farm creature.
It's a farm creature we've had before.
We have, but not since we moved.
I would dare say, a very important farm creature. Every gardener needs these.
Every composter should have them too. They come from Uncle Jim's worm farm.
Oh man.
Can I see?
See how they did in their transit here.
Do all this way.
Yep. Supposedly there should be 1,000 little red wriggler worms in this one bag, and the red wrigglers are better than a normal earthworm for composting. Okay, I'll show you as soon as I get it open, alright buddy?
Okay.
It's a little stuck here, the nut is nutted.
They didn't want them getting out in the mail.
No.
I thought it was interesting. The FedEx bag had, like, the corners are cut off, probably to keep the box from being, like, vacuum sealed. Worms need oxygen.
Yep.
Don't they? Or do they? No. Kids, you know about it.
Yeah, they need oxygen. There's oxygen in the ground. And they oxygenate the ground.
But they don't drown in water.
Don't they?
No.
Oh, baby.
Can I see him?
Can you see in there or not?
Oh my goodness.
Can I see him?
Yeah, I'll show everybody. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, crazy.
I can't see.
It's because you're blocking the light. You have to get your head back away from the bag and just look down into it. Oh, there's one sitting on the edge. Here, I'll just pull some out and show you all. Oh, that's the grossest feeling ever.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
so tiny.
Indiana Jones in that snake pit.
Oh yeah, look at this, look at this.
Heebie-jeebies.
Dad.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's a baby one on the counter.
Look at this clump of worms. That's a clump of living worms right there.
That's gross.
It's about 400 or 500 worms in one giant grossly clump. Look at those little baby ones, yeah. The red wrigglers are desirable too because they reproduce at a high rate.
So why would you want these in your soil?
Well, they won't overwinter in our harsh climates, the red wrigglers, so you really want them in your compost.
Okay.
And we have a worm bin that I'll show you later on. Thank you.
There's more worms in there?
Yeah,
2 bags of worms.
2,000 worms.
Oh my.
So
We are
they
rich in
help
worms.
break down food very rapidly because they eat voraciously and they reproduce. And worm castings, whatever the process is of their digestion, it actually increases the nutrients that you wouldn't get from just composting the nutrients. So you end up with more nutrients than you would otherwise have. Also, when capybara eats the banana here,
Begins the process of composting.
she begins the...
We don't use human manure though.
Yeah.
Human manure is a
Are
thing.
we gonna keep the sacks?
Maybe. They're pretty gross inside. They're like moist and wormy. We got our first worms at our other house, and I just I don't know, probably I just Googled worms. And then last time I got some earthworms, some night crawlers rather, and some of these red wrigglers.
What is that? I'm brave. Camera.
This time I decided to go all red wrigglers. Since we don't have a pond anymore, I got the night crawlers last time because we had a pond and we used them for bait. But you can use these for bait, but they're not as big, so you gotta have a small hook and a small fish.
Smells like worms. It reminds me of fishing with my dad when I was a kid.
Alright, so this is a Worm Factory 360 upward migrating worm box that we bought a number of years ago. It's got these bins. They got holes in the bottom. And you can stack like a whole bunch on top of each other, and the worms will nest in the bottom if you put the right stuff in there. And then they'll eat their way up, pull the stuff down, nest, eat their way up. So they actually just come up, and then the bottom ones will be empty of worms eventually. So you can take those out and use them. That's the idea, anywho. So we're going to start off here with, this is just leaf mold, M-O-U-L-D, like decayed leaf stuff. Mold, leaf mold. Like John Brown's body lies a moldering in the grave, mold. And we're going to put that in here. That's a great little medium for the worms to live in. It's nice and sort of half moist. You want the moisture to be like a wrung out sponge. So not wet, not dry. We're going to put that in there. We're going to add some of this compost, which we just took off our compost pile. So this is like half finished compost post. The worms actually love like donkey litter and chicken litter. They eat that stuff up like crazy. So we're gonna put some of that in here eventually. So add some of this, mix it in a little bit, and in here. This will be their bottom one, which will be their nesting area.
Smells very earthy.
That would make sense.
Kind of wet, like leaf mold.
So now we're gonna dump out these red wrigglers. So this is just peat moss they were packaged in to keep them alive and warmish as they traveled here from Florida.
Oh, what a commute.
I believe they were from Florida.
Oh, look at them.
Look at them wriggling. It's a moving pile of worms.
What do you think, Johanna?
Good.
It's alive.
Yeah, it's a lot of worms. They're
Stinks.
skinny.
Well, the stink is from dahlia tubers that started to rot.
The plants in the box beside Papa.
No, they put them outside now, so it shouldn't smell as bad. And look at those wrigglers.
Look at them go.
It's 1,000 worms in that pile, approximately. I don't know how they count them.
Probably weigh them.
Yeah. Look at that mass. I can't even get it apart. They're all intertwined together.
They're trying to get untangled.
Isn't that cool?
Yep.
Ugh.
Like half of them in that corn.
Yep.
Worms.
You fit all of them in one thing.
Yep. So we're gonna actually put the other bag in too right now. And then we'll add some leaf compost on top of it.
There's another couple worms.
Oh, one just kind of came out there. Get all the...
Don't squeeze them.
Oh, so it's like a bunch of ants or something.
Can I feel it?
Yeah, sure. Just scoot back there, Rosie. Johanna, you come up. Come on up, hurry before
Put your
they...
hand over there.
You gotta hold, you can't drop them. Don't drop them.
Oh,
It's so weird.
Oh, okay, I'm sitting down. Gross.
You're putting a blanket on them, huh?
A little blanket on them here.
More.
And that'll basically fill up the first bin. That's their home bin. It's okay. So what we'll do is we'll add a second bin on top. And this will be our first food bin. And what they'll do is as they eat it, they'll poop in the bottom one. They'll put their worm castings in the bottom one. And then they'll come up and this will become their nesting bin
Okay.
as they decay things.
And so to put, what do you put on your compost pile from them? Which tray? The bottom tray?
Their nesting bin has, I don't understand what you're asking.
What they cast, what do you take out?
The bottom tray will be taken out eventually.
Okay.
That'll be full of castings. Once they move out of it, basically it's because they're not living there anymore and it's just castings and digested and composted stuff.
Okay. How long does it take to fill up a tray?
They eat their body weight in a day.
I thought they cast their body weight in a
Yes,
day.
they cast their body weight in a day, so
Okay.
they may eat more than that. I forget what the amount is, it's on here, but you can add half a pound of food per day per pound of worms.
Okay.
So we got about, I don't know what that was, 2 pounds of worms. So we could feed them a pound of food a day. And they will double their number every 90 days. There'll be twice as many worms if you keep them happy, which is keeping them warm enough. It's a little chilly down here. It's probably about 50 degrees in this basement. They like it a little bit warmer than that.
So could we just open a little bit one of these vents here when this duct works?
Yeah. Or move them in the other part of the
okay.
basement that's a little warmer.
Yeah.
And they'll go in here, so we can start adding kitchen scraps. They don't like citrus, but you can add things like eggshells, coffee grinds. They like those occasionally. And then other things, apple peels, other stuff. You know, if it's big clump of broccoli stalk, they probably aren't going to eat that whole thing just because it's big
A
and
big chunk.
woody.
What if you chop it up or like boil it a little bit?
The more you chop it, the more likely they're going to eat it.
Okay.
You can rake a little bit, Johanna.
Maybe some concluding remarks eventually.
And then
Make sure we get it on.
put some more of this manure compost on there. So they'll come in here and eat. And then when you put kitchen scraps in, it's a good idea to put like a piece of newspaper, wet newspaper, over the top, because then they will come up underneath that. They don't like the light, so especially if it's in a light room or outside, you got to keep it dark so that the worms stay happy. It's pretty good, yo. And then I'm just putting these empty bins on top just to hold them. That's maybe not ideal, but that's what I'm going to do right now. And it'll all settle in a couple days and we'll have to readjust things, but for now that's going to be good enough. Okay, thanks.
He wants to see them, I think, and we have one spinach
Oh, good.
leaf. One spinach leaf that we found on the kitchen floor.
Want to see them, buddy?
That was probably me.
There they are. See them? Come here. See these little red
Go
dubers?
feed him, Matt. Go feed him. Put it in.
See that? That's a worm.
Yeah.
You can put that in there, and then tomorrow they will probably have eaten that leaf. We'll just cover them back up here.
Okay.
Awesome.